For more than 50 years, the professional services industry has relied on a single, highly effective metric to generate wealth: the billable hour. The logic held up for decades because time acted as a reliable proxy for the actual value of the work delivered. If an accountant or a lawyer spent 10 hours unpacking a complex problem, charging for 10 hours of expert labor felt fair to both sides. But that billing structure quietly served a second purpose. It funded a vast apprenticeship pipeline. Junior staff learned their trade by grinding through hundreds of hours of repetitive, entry-level tasks, and the client picked up the tab. The financial and cultural architecture of the professional world rests on one fragile assumption: that human time has intrinsic value. Recently, KPMG, one of the Big Four accounting giants, went to its own auditor, Grant Thornton, and made an aggressive demand for a fee reduction. KPMG's logic was straightforward. Grant Thornton had been publicly touting its new artificial intelligence tools, claiming they made audits faster and more efficient. KPMG demanded that those cost savings be passed down to them immediately. Looking at this chart of the fee negotiations, Grant Thornton caved to the threat. Their audit bill dropped from $416,000 to $357,000, a 14% cut in a single negotiation. Right now, nearly 60% of in-house counsel report knowing their outside law firms use AI, yet they haven't seen any reduction in their invoices. By forcing a discount from its own vendor, KPMG handed every corporate client the script to call their vendor's bluff and negotiate down professional fees. AI-enabled associates can now draft non-disclosure agreements up to 70% faster than peers working without it. Complex document review that historically took a team of paralegals weeks to complete is now done in hours. This acceleration breaks the core equation of professional services. When a task that took 10 hours suddenly takes 2 minutes, billing for the full 10 is no longer an accurate proxy for value. It actually crosses into an ethical dilemma. The American Bar Association's Model Rule 1.5 requires legal fees to be reasonable. Charging a client for 12 hours of discovery work that an AI completed almost instantly invites regulatory scrutiny. The industry is reacting to this collapse. Baker McKenzie cut 700 positions. Accenture announced 11,000 role reductions. Meanwhile, McKenzie deployed 20,000 AI agents. Artificial intelligence is no longer a future operational tool. It is an active force dismantling the traditional revenue model from the inside out. The death of the billable hour also triggers a hidden internal crisis. Partner compensation at most firms relies heavily on the sheer volume of hours billed by junior associates. This systemic flowchart illustrates the threat. While AI efficiency increases margins on flat-rate jobs, the pool of billable hours evaporates. Consequently, firms need far fewer junior associates to complete the same amount of work. This creates an unanswered question for firm leadership. If artificial intelligence handles the repetitive entry-level work, how will junior staff develop the human judgment required to become senior partners? Firms ignoring this pipeline collapse face a capability gap in the next 5 to 7 years. They simply won't have the experienced leaders they need. This shift eliminates the repetitive training ground that historically manufactured senior-level expertise. Survival requires a complete pivot. Professional services must stop selling effort and time and start selling pure judgment and tangible outcomes. 4 emerging pricing models exist. Efficiency-adjusted hourly billing lowers rates for AI tasks. Fixed-fee pricing lets firms keep the margin if AI accelerates work. Outcome-based pricing ties fees to measurable results. Finally, subscription models provide continuous access to expertise. Alongside overhauling how they charge, firms must invent new training pipelines. They have to implement shadowing and case-based learning to artificially simulate the experience junior talent used to get from manual grunt work. Navigating this transition demands an overhaul of both how a firm bills its clients and how it teaches its people. The $59,000 that KPMG saved on its audit is pocket change for a global corporate giant. The real impact is the precedent. Every sophisticated buyer now has a blueprint to challenge fee structures across an industry worth billions of dollars. Artificial intelligence acts as a forcing function. It strips away the padding of billable time to reveal the true value of a professional's judgment. Firms that master this technology to deliver outcomes will command premium rates. Those clinging to the billable hour will be reduced to commoditized labor. Master the tool or become the commodity.